Happy Star Wars Day, everybody.
Happy Star Wars Day.
That made me laugh. That not so long ago in 3 socially distant locations.
Yes, I laughed at that. I laughed.
Yeah.
I lolled.
Hey, Walt, nicely done. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. I hope you're having a fantastic Star Wars Day. So many people on my friends list are like giving a rundown of what movie they're up to and at what time and what they're doing next, and
Oh yeah,
when the P breakers and all that kind of stuff. So should we catch up a little bit first, because we've not seen, we did see each other the other day, but from a socially distance,
from a sensible distance away.
From a sensible distance while you drop something off.
Yeah.
Some equipment, but other than that, like, I've not seen you for, how long has it been? A month?
Yeah, it must be. Feels like longer, but yeah.
We'd organised to explain.
How long have we been on lockdown?
I don't know. It's all starting
at least
to blend.
Days,
It's all starting to blend in now, man. I don't
know. Yeah.
I've lost track of time completely. But well, the thing was, we were actually planning to do, because it was Wednesday. It was a Wednesday when the lockdown came in, and we were planning to do on the Tuesday, like earlier that week, we'd planned to do a show. I think, hadn't we? Because we'd had a bit of a break, but we'd planned to come back and do a show. The previous week, we said, oh, we'll just take some time and organize the show. But in the end, we got pissed in the Wally Arms instead. Got no work done.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Watched One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which wasn't terrible.
Yeah, and Jaws.
Yeah, but then so ordered some more beer, especially for the next week, and then come the Wednesday, and it was like, nah, that's not gonna happen. So so here we are. In the meantime, do you want to tell people what's happened to you and the missus?
Oh yeah, well, we caught the virus. Yeah, we've been through it. My wife's a nurse, so we presume she picks it up from where she works.
Yeah,
and then very kindly passed it on to me. So here we go.
Sharing's caring.
It was a rough few weeks. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was a rough time, but we're over it now, pretty much. So
I'm glad you're both over it now. Cheers, we'll drink to that. No beer tonight. We're on the Johnny Walker.
On the Johnny Walker, yeah. I'm on the
in my Blade Runner glass.
Oh, nice.
I know it's not exactly Star Wars, but hey, it's still sci-fi. There's my Empire Strikes Back day bill over my shoulder there, and some figures you can see. So, and all my Kenners in the case there. Can you see? Lit up.
Nice.
So there you go. Right. So let's get on with a bit of news, because we're going to bring Andy into the stream in a little while.
Yeah.
But first, we're going to hit one of the news articles first. So let's do that first. Okay. Here we go.
All right.
All right. So this is fairly hot off the press, isn't it? This is coming from boundingintocomics.com. Disney leaker explains why executives are allegedly livid about the rumored Star Wars show from Leslie Headland. Disney leader WDW Pro recently explained why Disney executives are livid about the rumored Star Wars series from Russian doll co-creator Leslie Headland. WDW Pro, that's a bit of a tongue twister, that is the Disney leaker who previously reported that Disney executives were livid at Lucasfilm hiring Leslie, the former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein. Ooh, controversial. He previously indicated they were livid at Lucasfilm because she comes with significant PR baggage. Really? Just a little bit. Potentially legal baggage, and did so without consulting Disney or their legal department. Now, WDW Pro has elaborated on why Disney executives were livid at Lucasfilm for allegedly hiring Headland. Okay, so it says on the forums, it says, so just received this info. One of the reasons Leslie Headland is such a PR issue is because of quotes like these. It was so funny and great when I was working there. That was all I wanted. I would daydream that someday I'd I'll be making movies and Harvey will buy them and he will want to support me, as co-workers do, essentially. There's nobody like him. He's a genius. You sit across from him and you're like, I can't believe how brilliant this guy is. So his interest in me as a filmmaker just makes me feel like I made the right choice to move on. So WDW Pro adds, you have to understand quotes like these come well after there were many, many reports about Weinstein and his predatory criminal behavior towards women, and why you may think the hundreds of social media posts she had disappear in conjunction with the Variety leak were all lewd things. The truth is very often loving over the top endorsements of Weinstein. Yeah. So they continue. Additionally, Bob Iger is currently being sued by Paz de la Huerta about Harvey Weinstein, which means that not only is he attempting to get out of that situation, but Kathleen Kennedy has brought the fox into the hen house by bringing in Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant, and nobody at the top of Disney knows what information she was privy to during her time working under Weinstein. I was curious what the legal issue was that Disney were concerned about beyond the PR issue, but that's the big one I've discovered. You could potentially, although perhaps unlikely, see a situation where Kathleen Kennedy has hired someone who would have compromising information about the CEO, former CEO, and others at Disney. That sounds like a very strong bargaining chip, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
He concludes, so now the fact that Lucasfilm hired someone with significant PR issues becomes more intriguing, and you begin to understand why Disney execs were livid about Headland not having been previously vetted outside of Lucasfilm. So what is Kathleen Kennedy's play here? The hosts of Toxic Femininity podcasts that include Geeky Candy, OG Star Wars, and Merry Mayhem on Midnight's Edge YouTube channel also documented Headland's comments to Entertainment Weekly, as well as other conflicting comments and statements regarding Harvey Weinstein and women. Geeky Candy specifically commented on Entertainment Weekly. She states that the F is this shit. Why has nobody said this? Why has nobody said this? When I saw this, my mouth dropped open. I couldn't believe it. She had years to self-reflect. This is years after her time with him. Blah, 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 carrying on with all that kind of stuff. So, what do you make of all that then? I'll just show our talking.
Well, I mean, if rumors are to be believed, it looks like the head honchos at Lucasfilm didn't give Disney head honchos a heads up of what they wanted to do, who they wanted to bring in. It's really sort of ruffled the feathers, isn't it? So the question is, who leaked it in the first place? The Variety.
But that's a very interesting point they were making about Kathleen Kennedy. Because she knew Weinstein as well, didn't she? Or are they playing that down?
Well, she probably did. I mean, he was a big deal in Hollywood, wasn't he? Yeah. He's pretty much everybody knew him. So But for this new, for what's called Leslie Headland to, she's deleted all these tweets when this came out, and apparently these tweets are bigging up Harvey Weinstein, praising him.
So she's deleted
all these tweets that are sucking up to him basically are after the fact of the accusations. So it's not good on her resume, and no wonder she deleted the tweets basically.
Yeah, but she's probably also crapping herself over that new thing where, like, if you've written a tweet 10 years ago, you can get fired for it.
That's right. Yeah.
That's a new thing, isn't it? That they just love over there in Hollywood. Yeah. So, well, it'd be interesting to see what happens. It'd be interesting to see what happens there, because it wouldn't be the first time that they've hired someone, made a big song and dance of it, and then it's just gone to shit and not happened at all.
No, and the point is with Leslie Headland is that she's on the, how can I put this? The feminist sort of pushing that sort of agenda side. when the leak came out, the headline was, she wants to make a female-centered Star Wars TV show.
Sure.
Okay. All fine and dandy, but why do you have to put it like that? Why do you have to put it like that? Why can't you just say this Leslie Headland, who once worked on Russian Dolls from Netflix, is making a new Star Wars TV show?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So it's when the Mandalorian came. When the Mandalorian was announced, it wasn't, we're making this male-centered, manly Star Wars show. You know, it's I don't understand it. It's sort of pushing. It shouldn't be controversial, but it is, and it's pushing that controversy at the front of it. You know, it's just announcing making a new Star Wars TV show, and we'll judge it once it's out.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, but it's the thing. B. Ryan Young has said he's not as bad as Ward, to be fair.
Yeah. Jason Ward we're talking about there. Yeah, that's right.
Go on, fill me in on him. I'm not familiar with that.
Jason Ward is the guy on Making Star Wars.net.
Oh,
which you've heard of.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Basically, he's left the fandom. He's been pushed out, left, whatever you want to say. Yeah, he's been in chats with 15-year-old girls or something on.
Oh,
Twitter.
I remember all this controversy now. Yeah.
So yeah, he's
good riddance.
That's that's a recent thing. So he's gone.
That's why we love B. Ryan Young's name on YouTube there as well. Anyway, how you doing? I'd like to say hello to a few people. Jacob Polk, the force is with us. I put his comment up before. How are you doing? Danny Smith, first time on here. How you doing?
How you doing, Danny?
One of my virtual busking gigs at the weekend, so he came via that.
Nice.
And there's look, Andy Barclough. He's going to be joining us in a moment. And Buffalo Dude. Hi, hello to you. So happy Star Wars Day. Right, should we move along from this particular topic then?
Yeah.
And I'll just get rid of that for now. And then we're going to go over here. But just by the way, guys, I'm producing the show at the same time. We're doing it on a completely new platform because we're all in isolation. So here we go with the next round of news. In fact, tell you what, before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Andy Barclough. Hey.
How
you doing?
Hello,
Andy.
You've got Vader on your shoulder.
That's Anakin Skywalker.
That is Anakin.
It's right. Geekily, it's the Revenge of the Sith version. He's only just become Vader. But
right.
So he is symmetrical.
He's yet to bulk up at the gym.
He is symmetrical. Well done, Paddy.
Because that's what was missing from the original saga.
Yeah, it made. I think it made Revenge of the Sith better, but we've started ranting straight away.
But that's okay.
I think that just shows the love. I think.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with the symmetrical Vader. It was just the sort of crumply front bit because he was like too skinny inside it. You know, he wasn't.
Yeah.
He was no prowls, was he?
He was no prowls, but ho hum. Right, so we're going to move on with another piece of news now. So let's do that. Okay. Right, what I'm going to do is he pronounced it for me before, but I know I'm going to mess it up. So
yeah.
What's his name again, Matt?
Taika Waititi.
Taika
Waititi. Yeah.
So this is hot off the press, isn't it? Like this is.
Yeah. This was announced it was announced officially. Put that way. Yeah.
Today. On Star Wars Day, of course. So this is from theslanted.com, but I'm sure it's everywhere. Taika Waititi to direct Star Wars movie as Leslie Headland develops live action series. So it's going to be a series. Okay. Yes, of course it's going to be serious. So it wouldn't be a proper Star Wars Day without a massive announcement from Disney. And fans should be pretty happy with two that they got today. The studio confirmed that Academy Award winner Taika Waititi will direct and co-write a new Star Wars feature film. And Russian Dolls creator Leslie Headland is developing another Star Wars live-action series. This isn't Waititi's first brush with the Star Wars universe. He also directed the season 1 finale of the hit series The Mandalorian on Disney+. Waititi recently won Best Adapted Screenplay for the satire Jojo Rabbit, and he worked with Disney when he directed Thor Ragnarok for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. According to the announcement, Waititi will write the screenplay for the new Star Wars installment with BAFTA Award winner and Academy Award nominee Christy Wilson Cairns. Double barrel name. Disney also confirmed that Emmy-nominated writer Leslie Headland is currently developing a new Star Wars series for Disney Plus. We've been there. The Star Wars, the platform stated that Headland will write blah 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 blah. We don't need to read that. The studio did not confirm release dates for Waititi's movie or the Headland series, but more information and casting will be announced when those projects move into production. Taika Waititi fans will eventually be able to see Thor Love and Thunder, his next Marvel project, once the box office returns to normal. Taika Waititi is directing the MCU movie, which features Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson, and Natalie Portman. Ooh, Portman returns, eh? That film currently has February 11th, 2022 release date, but could change depending on the current stuff with COVID-19. So there you go. What are our thoughts on that?
So we don't know if that film is the announced trilogy from last year that's going to start in 2022, whether that's the first one or it's a spin-off. There's nothing else said on the article, is there?
No other details. No.
I mean, well, let's go with let's go with the elephant in the living room there, since you brought it up.
Ryan.
No.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's still in discussions with Disney.
Yeah. We're still in discussions. No, what I was going to say was, yeah. Do you think potentially, and would you like there to be the standalone movies put back on the table?
Yeah, I think I would. Yeah,
I think they're a safe bet because you don't because
you don't have to follow up.
Yeah, well, there's that, but also I think they attract a wider audience than people realize. I think I've seen it with a few people who aren't that into Star Wars, and they've said every time, "Oh, I prefer these spin-offs."
Yeah,
and I'm like, I don't know if that's just because the really big Star Wars fans, didn't. I think Rogue One went down well with everybody, mainstream audiences and fans. Yeah. But Solo was a bit more controversial. But
it was shit.
And I think moving away from the Skywalker films would be a good idea. And it's really easy to do that. It's easy to do that with the spin-offs, because the two spin-offs we've had so far are that 20-odd year gap between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. It's like, come on, move away. Just go away.
Yeah. I mean, we keep saying it, don't we? That if they're going to go trilogy, then they need to go back way
timeline,
way
back.
Yeah.
Way back. So
they've already announced a new. Is it called the High Republic? A new era.
Yes. Yeah.
400 years before the Phantom Menace. So
I think there's no Sith. There's no Sith at that point, is there?
I think we already talked about this on the show, that it's impossible for there to be Sith. Well, it's not impossible, but what's that? Sorry,
I was going to say without breaking canon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because the Sith have been extinct for a millennium.
That's right. So the Sith could be in it, but they couldn't reveal themselves, and they can't fight Jedi, so they'd have to come up with a new villain. And I think they have mentioned a villain or a race, but it's completely new, and they don't look Force sensitive.
Right. Okay.
So that's the new era. Everyone wants Old Republic. I do too, but maybe that's their way of easing us back into it. But for me, if I was in charge, I'd be like, let's move forward. Let's go right the far back. Maybe, when the Jedi discovered the Force. Sorry. Some species or people discovered the Force, because I think the Force is the oldest thing. It's older than the Jedi and the Sith. So I think a Force origin story would be difficult in keeping the mystery, because we'll see exactly how it came into being. But if they do it with not so much JJ's mystery box, which if anyone's watched his TED talk on mystery box coming over here, guys, seriously, mystery box. That's how he writes his films. I think he's just really hyperactive, and he loves Star Wars, which is fair enough. But yeah, his TED talk's quite interesting. But he uses, if you haven't seen it, he uses A New Hope on how to structure the perfect film. I don't think he says perfect, but that's kind of what he's alluding to. But yeah, I think going back to point, I think going further back to the origin of the Jedi, the Force. And then make your way right up to the original trilogy. Do it that way. It's probably going to go beyond my lifetime. I might not see it bridge to the Phantom Menace, but hey ho, at least it'll be going in order for once.
True. Yeah. I mean, you could have a Jedi origins story. Like the actual first Jedi temple and the stories of that. That'd be awesome. I'd be up that.
Yeah, that'd be really good. The Sacred Jedi Texts. Find out who wrote those.
Yeah.
Page turners, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Page turners, they are not.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, it's good for me. It's positive news that, because he's obviously done well with Marvel. I can't pass comment 100% on how good he is with Marvel, because I've not seen Ragnarok yet.
Have you seen it, Matt?
Yeah, I've seen it. I enjoy it. I like that movie.
I was surprised how good it was, actually.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, his humor fits right into Marvel movies.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, how it translates to a full-blown Star Wars movie, I don't know, because it can be quite slapstick.
Comes across as a funny guy, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
So,
and he's done a lot of movies, some of which you probably haven't seen. It look like it's from New Zealand, and he's got quite a backlog of movies from New Zealand which are very popular.
Yeah.
Like Hunt for the Wilder People. I don't know if you've seen that one.
No, I've not seen it.
Another one called Boy. It's about a young Maori lad. Funny as, I really recommend those movies.
A film called Boy, starring a boy.
Starring a boy.
It sounds like Alan's things to Tony Hare's The Pitching. What he's just like, it's a boy, it's about a boy. Well, what does that mean? I don't know. It's just a title. I don't know.
With Chris Eubank. Monkey tennis.
Cooking in prison.
That's my favorite one. The irony is, however many years later, Ramsey did Cooking in Prison. He actually did it.
Did it?
I was like, I hope Coogan got points on that program.
Maybe.
Do you know what I mean? Should have had to pay him a few quid for that. But like I say, well, it seems apparent that he's actually a good writer. He can actually structure a story with a beginning, middle, and end, which for the current slate of movies would potentially be quite positive.
Yeah, I've not seen Jojo Rabbit yet, but I've heard good things about it. So
I've heard good things about it. Yeah, so
he's definitely got the talent, and I like some comments he's had about Star Wars in the past, where he seems to be like, these movies are different. You've got to approach them in a different way, and all that sort of stuff. So he seems to respect the IP more than some others, shall we say? Some people.
Yes. Yeah, I see what you mean. So I'll tell you what. Let's jump into the discussion that Andy's going to kind of take us through now, and then if we've got room for some other news afterwards, then we'll do that. Just because
a little bit of gaming news after and stuff like that.
Yeah, just because I'm conscious that we're already at the half an hour point. No, I mean it's Star Wars Day, so we can go on. We can go on. I'm sure for a while.
Yeah.
We can go over the line a little bit. I don't think that'd be a problem. But
do it.
I think we get into that discussion now, and then see where we go from there. So let's do this. Okay, so you have been dissecting and imbibing. Is that the right word?
Being fanatical about
being fanatical, taking in, watching, whatever.
Yeah,
I think this Johnny Walker's starting to kick in. The new Star Wars 4K versions. So, what did you like? What have you discovered? What annoyed you?
So, bit of backstory first.
This is based on I'm watching it on Disney Plus, is it so far?
Disney Plus and the actual discs themselves.
You got the 4K set, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So a bit of backstory first, because we need to do that because I'm going to refer back to these titles. The very first original trilogy we got on DVD was back in 2004, and it was, if you've forgotten, it was this set. That was the original trilogy. So I got the gold one. The gold one was rare. I think they were mainly silver. I think that was HMV.
Yeah. Is that the DVD set?
That's the DVD set. Yeah, you get 4 discs, and then one of them's the bonus features.
I've got a video set somewhere.
Oh yeah, I've still got my video. They're not here though, so I can't show them. But that was our first move into the digital world. The other 3 prequels, they just came out as and when. I think Phantom Menace was 2 years after it came out, 2001, and then Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith were just released on DVD normally. And then we didn't have any kind of releases apart from, I think, Sky TV after that. And then in 2011, the controversial Star Wars The Complete Saga on Blu-ray. So this was all 6 films with, I think there's 3 extras discs, but they're a bit crap. Didn't like them. Didn't like the extras. But we'll get into why I don't like these.
The artwork was terrible.
Yeah, shocking. It doesn't have Rey on it. I mean, it really annoys me. Look, it's just Luke and Anakin. I can't see Rey on there, so it's definitely not the complete. It's not the complete saga, then, is it?
It's not the complete Palpatine saga.
Hashtag should have called Shipper, as I always say.
Yes, that's true. Oh yeah, his stuff from his prints from Rise of Skywalker were beautiful.
They were. And
his Last Jedi poster is the best Last Jedi poster as well.
So much better than theatricals. So much better.
Yeah,
absolutely. Really hard to agree.
We'll bring him on to talk about it one day.
Yes. Anyway, back to digital releases. So then we didn't hear anything until 2015 when there was another digital release, and Amazon and all these other platforms, I felt like they just wouldn't say, oh, these are pretty much just the Blu-rays that you've just seen from 2011. But just broadcast digitally. They hadn't done anything to them. Obviously, I'm not going to get too much into what George changed in terms of scenes. I'm just going to talk about the quality, the prints of the films. So now we cut to Disney, and all 9 of them are in 4K on Disney Plus. Now we've got the Skywalker Saga box set. There is Rogue One. Solo came out on 4K anyway, normally. Rogue One didn't. Rogue One is currently only in America and certain parts of Europe, and I still don't know why it's not in the UK yet. Rumor has it that Amazon and Disney in the UK aren't aligned at the minute, and there's some kind, because I wanted to buy them separately, and you can't in the UK. You have to buy the massive box set, and if you want Rogue One, you have to order it from Germany.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm a bit annoyed. Anyway. But yeah, I've seen them all now in 4K. So the good news is it worth throwing these out now for the 4K sets? Definitely. There are problems which I'll get into, but overall, I'm quite happy that they've done it. But they're a bit hit and miss, and we'll go through them. So we'll start with The Phantom Menace, which going into, I would have assumed was going to be the best looking of the prequels.
Because it was shot on film.
Because it was shot on film, yeah. But again, I didn't realize this till recently. Lucas shot himself in the foot, which is what Peter Jackson did on The Lord of the Rings, is they summed it down to a 2K digital to put the visual effects on.
Ah, yes, of course.
So The Phantom Menace has suffered in that respect and is actually the worst looking of the prequels on 4K Blu-ray, which really surprised me.
It's surprising because you'd have thought it would have been Attack of the Clones, right?
Definitely. I thought it would have been Attack of the Clones. The 1 minute you see some normal kind of shot in Phantom Menace, and it's like, oh, it looks pretty good. And then it cuts to like one of the tanks in the battle, and you can just see the green screen problems. Right. I mean, thankfully, it's still a model, but it just looks terrible. But overall, is it a better presentation of the film? I'd say so, yeah, definitely.
Right.
One thing I will say, the audio improvement is the greatest thing on the box set. Every single soundtrack's been remixed into Dolby Atmos, and it sounds fantastic. Every single release is very good. So on to Attack of the Clones. Attack of the Clones looks better, which again really surprised me. I should say this when I'm talking about these, I'm talking about the 4K releases and the Disney Plus stream. They're both the same version. I will say, is it worth having the box set over Disney Plus? If you're a geek like me, yes, there is a considerable difference. I think the motion's a little bit better on disc. It's sharper, as it naturally will be. Disney Plus is compressed like any other streaming platform like Amazon or Netflix. Don't get me wrong, it's a massive upgrade on the 1080p Blu-rays, but there's nothing better than having the full uncompressed disc in front of you and a dedicated player. So on to the Attack of the Clones. It looks better than the Phantom Menace, but it's still not great. You can feel that
terrible film.
It's that digital stretching, the upscaling it to 4K basically. But again, is it worth having it over the previous release on 1080p Blu-ray? Yes, I'd say so.
Do you think they found some new way of digital stretching, or is it just quite obvious that they did it that way?
Absolutely. That brings me on to Revenge of the Sith. Which I'm going to talk about what you've just said then. Obviously, these films were all pushed down to 2K. Phantom Menace was 35mm film pushed down to 2K. Attack of the Clones was shot in 2K. Revenge of the Sith was shot in 2K. They had some kind of capture hardware that got better for Revenge of the Sith. So the upgrade of Revenge of the Sith makes it the most superior of the prequels. Which I'm happy about because that's my favorite prequel anyway.
So they had data information stored somewhere they could call upon to.
I think so, yeah. So Revenge of the Sith is definitely the best looking of the prequels by far. Again, the sound is far superior to what it was. I didn't realize how compressed the other releases were in comparison. They feel quite free and open now, more dynamic. Onto A New Hope, which is the best looking of the original trilogy, which is surprising considering that was the first one. But there is a reason for this. Do you remember when we were talking about Rogue One and Gareth Edwards said Lucasfilm and Fox have got a 4K Star Wars?
Yep.
We believe this is the one they were talking about. So Fox were working on A New Hope for a few years maybe before the Disney acquisition happened. Then Disney took over. Sorry, Paddy.
The hostile takeover.
They were going to do it for 40th anniversary, I reckon, weren't they?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Like a standalone theatrical or whatever for the 40th anniversary of New Hope.
Yep. So A New Hope is the best looking of the original trilogy. Is it great 4K? No. But it is possibly the best looking of the six, I would say, out of the George Lucas Star Wars.
Right.
The problem with the New Hope is it's got what you call digital noise reduction, DNR, which they've tried to remove the grain, because when you upstretch an image or you make it even more better quality, a lot of the dirt's
stretch the grain as well.
Yeah, and it's made things look a little bit flat in places. But again, is it better than the other releases we've had? Absolutely. I think it's the best we're going to get for A New Hope. Right. But there is a fan project called Project 4K 77 or something like that fans do. And now these 4K real ones have come out. They're going to make their ultimate 4K original version.
All right. Going to try and improve on these as well.
And do you know what? I saw their 4K project before this 4K release, and I was very impressed. Right. It's incredible that some fans are doing that work. You can find them online, and they've put some clips on YouTube for you to see. But now we've got an actual 4K. It's going to be amazing.
Are they doing 4K of the despecialized, or are they doing 4K of the?
They're going to use, what they do is they get loads of different sources to make a despecialized edition. Right. But the greatest source now is the new 4K A New Hope, which is, the best I've ever seen A New Hope. It felt fresh and new, and it felt like it had a lot of its original color palette returned to it. Whereas the DVD had this stupid, awful blue tint over everything. Yeah. So the Death Star looks more blue than grey, and the Star Destroyers look more blue and not white and grey, etc. And it makes people's faces if people's faces are a bit red, that stupid tint makes them look purple. It's awful. You don't realize when you're watching it, but when you see it side by side, you're like, oh, it's awful.
Yeah,
So that tint has gone, and Disney have made it look way more like it did. So that it's good news on that front. Yeah. Something I need to talk about before we move on to the best Star Wars.
Hello, Tom.
Hi, Tom. It's something called HDR, which is high dynamic ratio.
HDR?
Yeah.
High dynamic range?
High dynamic range, not ratio. There we go. So that is where so contrast means the brightest point of your image and the darkest point and how extreme they are. So you want your contrast on your TV to be quite high, so you get that dynamic contrast, which is why it's called contrast. HDR takes this even further, and I'm going to let Matt describe what it looks like when you're gaming.
Oh, it's amazing! It blows your socks off. Playing Battlefront 2 in 4K HDR is. Well, I get distracted playing it because I'm just amazed by the visuals, to be honest with you. The explosions, how bright they are against the background of dark space or what have you. Yeah, it's just amazing. It really is. It's I prefer it more than 3D, if I'm honest with you. It just makes it look a lot, I don't know. It's hard to describe, really, but it's
yeah, you kind of have to see it. You can't show someone an image or some footage or anything. You have to have an HDR screen and
see in front of the TV, watch. Yeah.
It's much more like what you see in the projection at the cinema, I guess. That's probably the closest thing to it. But it's essentially on Star Wars, it means, the scene in Attack of the Clones, like Anakin versus Dooku, the lightsabers have got a black backdrop because the Anakin's turned the lights off by whacking something on the floor, didn't he? And that's a great scene to watch to show HDR, because the lightsabers are super bright, like the white inside the blade is now brighter than it ever was. And when you go back to the other versions, it feels flat and boring.
Yeah.
It's having the same impact on games as well. It's much more vibrant, much more lifelike. But essentially the picture, people think, oh, so it's just a brighter image. No, certain aspects of the image are brighter, which is what they would be. And we record, we refer to how bright something is on digital screens in nits, I believe.
That's right.
So some TVs can go up to 1,000 nits. Some can go, I think, even more. Don't quote me on these numbers, but there's a YouTube channel called HDTV Test, where a guy did a HDR comparison on The Mandalorian, and it wasn't very good, which is surprising because it's a brand new show. And he said the original trilogy's HDR looked better than The Mandalorian. So hopefully that's improved it's very weird. So hopefully that's improved by season 2. So anyway, on to So the HDR presentations may make scenes in Star Wars, especially the original trilogy, feel a little bit darker, like the walls of the Death Star when they're rescuing the princess. The detail's not there anymore, but it kind of shouldn't have ever been that bright. So people are saying, oh, it doesn't actually look as good. And I'm like, no, this is what it should look like, the contrast between the two. Before, it was so flat in terms of contrast. Things that should have been darker were brighter. So you think you see more detail, but it's not actually how it should seem. So I would say that the new prints are the most drastic change we've had in Star Wars since we went from video to the DVDs in 2004. The special edition VHSs looked quite good. Obviously, they were very controversial because of new scenes and changes and things like that, but I don't want to get into that. Other than, I will say, there is one change in A New Hope, which I'm sure people saw when it went online, where Greedo, now before he shoots Han Solo, says McClunky. We don't know what McClunky means. George hasn't said what it means. Apparently, Sebulba says the word in The Phantom Menace when he's angry with Anakin and Jar Jar in the street, but
right,
we don't know what that is. If you put the subtitles on, it just says McClunky. It doesn't say
McClunky.
It doesn't say the English translation.
We think it's a euphemism for how clunky the re-edit of that whole scene is.
I mean,
could be.
What do you think of this scene? It's McClunky, mate. It really it's very McClunky.
Well, people.
I don't want to swear, so I'll use McClunky.
Well, he's always his classic one in Star Wars for avoiding swearing is what the.
Oh yeah.
What the? There's one in Attack of the Clones, isn't there? When he sees that alien sees Obi-Wan hanging from the droid.
Yes, I
can't remember if there's any others in the saga. But yeah, so Lucas did that change when they were editing the films and upgrading them for the 3D releases, because the original 6 were going to be out on 3D. The Phantom Menace came out first, and it didn't go very well. They actually did Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. They were already upgraded and ready to go, but they showed them at a Star Wars Celebration instead. But I cannot remember whether it got cancelled, that screening, or it went ahead. I think it went ahead. But yeah, we've had no confirmation whether any 3D releases are going to come, and I kind of hope they do, because I know Paddy's a big fan of 3D. I'm not. It gives me a headache. It makes me feel dizzy. I much prefer 4K and HDR and things like that.
Yeah.
That's just my thing.
For me with 3D, it's like, as I've said to you guys, I think probably privately, but not on a show or whatever. For me, 3D is like, it just blows my mind that I can have it in my house now.
Yeah.
So many people had it for so many years, and I never had it. And I was only lucky. I was lucky enough that my mate Paul Wilson, who actually used to cosplay an amazing George Lucas, with really, really good. He'd upgraded to 4K and stuff, and he was like getting rid of his old 3D TV and player. And I got it off him for 150 quid, and I was just like, "That's
not bad."
I was just like, "Yes!" Because the thing was, I've been preparing to have a 3D TV for an 80s kid. To have a 3D TV in my house is just like mind blowing, because for me, 3D as a kid was like Jaws 3D. It was crap with like those glasses with the red and blue lens, them, or a packet of shreddies with like a 3D thing on the back to look at the glasses. To have like some of my favorite movies in 3D and shit, like, it's just for me.
Yeah, I mean, I love the medium. I love 3D as well. I'm like you, Paddy. but I couldn't buy a 4K HDR 3D TV. They just don't make them.
Nope.
You
I would have done if I could.
There, but like I was saying to you, I've been preparing for so long. Like I'd purposely bought movies, spent a bit extra, and got the 3D disc. So I just knew I had it there. So when the TV turned up, I was like, okay, they're all there on the shelf waiting to go. Do you know what I mean? So. But
if you want to buy 3D TV, it's got to be second hand these days because the manufacturers have given up on them, unfortunately.
Yeah. But you can still buy it. You can still get a second hand 4K 3D TV.
No,
there are no 4K 3D TVs.
The 1080p is the highest you can get. Oh no, you can get 4K, but when you're watching a film in 3D, it's 1080.
It downscales.
Yeah, of course. But your player will probably upscale it a bit. Am I right?
Not too sure. Right. So some are actually. It depends because there's two types of 3D TV. There's passive and there's active. Your active at 1080p, and your passive will actually be 720.
Right.
Apparently so, yeah.
Yucky. So. We had another comment on the swearing, on the Star Wars swearing issue from B. Ryan Youngman. In the name of, in Revenge of the Sith.
That's right, yeah. In the
name of,
name of. Good call.
Yeah. That's right, yeah. And that's really McClunky as well, isn't it? The way he says that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, so Disney Plus doesn't have any 3D material in it either, as far as I know. But it would be sad for people like yourselves who are a fan of it for it to go. I don't think it's definitely not going anywhere from cinemas because you can still have. My favorite 3D experience is when it's done very well in the IMAX. Which a few films have been fantastic. It still gives me a headache, but that's a personal problem. When it's done properly, it's very good. I remember The Force Awakens being a very good 3D. Actually,
it's really good.
The Phantom Menace got well. Yeah, I've got that. I think I've got that one as well because it didn't come out at first. It came out later, and then they put more extras on it. And it's just like take my money.
The Falcon sequence is the bollocks in 3D.
That was shot on IMAX as well, so you've got even bigger clarity. The disc doesn't show the full IMAX image, which on Christopher Nolan films, when it goes from 16:9, 35mm, and then to IMAX, it goes full screen. But Disney and Lucasfilm decided not to do that. You can only see it if you watch it in an IMAX presentation.
Blade Runner 2049 in 3D also has to be said.
Did you do that? Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw that in 3D. That was a good 3D as well. Beautiful. The 3D that I thought was awful, and this film was made for 3D, is Avatar.
I can't say that without an Arnie voice. Avatar. Have you seen that when it was on the Golden Globes and stuff? This is James Cameron, Avatar.
Avatar. Lovely.
I think Red Letter Media use it and they just loop it, so he just goes Avatar.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so you didn't like that in 3D? I mean, that was a movie that tried to push 3D in the cinemas, wasn't it?
I've been meaning to buy that.
I really don't like the film, and I know I'm in a minority because it's one of the most successful films ever made. But I really
Dances with Wolves with Blue Aliens.
Well, it's
it's
Dancing with Wolves.
Ferngully as well.
It's Ferngully, Dances with Wolves, The Smurfs, and Pocahontas. For me, the plot is more Pocahontas than anything.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that really don't like that movie, but I must admit, I'm a bit of a fan. I do like it. I like the movie.
Really?
I like Avatar. I think he was trying to push the envelope a little bit with it, which is something I admire Cameron for. He's a bit like Lucas in that respect. He tries to push the envelope a bit further when it comes to his movies. I respect that. I respect that for it. But we're going to get another 3 Avatar movies, whether you like it or not.
Yeah,
I thought it was 7.
He keeps saying it.
Who knows?
No, I weren't surprised that you like the movie. I was surprised that you said a lot of people don't like the movie. I feel like I'm on my own.
No, you're not. A lot of people, like, when you see it discussed online,
it's not T2 and it's not Aliens, is it? To be fair,
I don't think it's terrible. It's just I don't understand why people are still going on about it, and just thought it was. Anyway, we got off topic again.
Yeah.
So back to McClunky.
Back to McClunky.
McClunky. So that scene was put in by Lucas. People thought it was Disney. Disney, I've always said, especially Kathleen Kennedy, that they will not touch the cuts of the 6 movies. They won't go near that. And to be fair to Disney, they've held on to that and kept to their word. It was George who changed that McClunky thing in Greedo versus Han. So that's the only change in terms of scene. The Empire Strikes Back, I thought was going to be the best looking of the original trilogy. But as I've already said, it's A New Hope. Empire is just a little bit more washed out than A New Hope. Isn't quite as good. I should say the Star Destroyers have never looked better, though, in HDR. And the awful color grading of the blue tint's gone, and it looks great. I wouldn't just say it's a little bit better than the print that was on the 2011 Blu-ray for Empire. I'd say it's a lot better. Yeah. Like I went back to the 2011 DVD when Han's destroying the Probot, the probe droid, on Hoth, and it just, you can't even see the features on the probe droid in 1080p Blu-ray. But this new Disney version is so much more superior. Again, sound is much better. Surprisingly, the music in the original trilogy is a little bit louder than it was on the DVDs and the Blu-rays. When the DVDs came out, the Death Star trench run, the DVD mix, you could not hear the music at all, and fans kicked off about it. And Lucasfilm responded within a week of the release happening, saying, "We think it's great how detailed our fans listen to our stuff and things like that." They didn't say they were going to fix it, but on 2011.
They didn't call them a bunch of man babies.
No, nothing like that. They were just saying that they're very attention to detail kind of fans.
Yeah.
The 2011 Blu-ray mix was better, but watching it through Disney Plus and the 4K disc itself, it always annoyed me on the special edition. When you first hear the Imperial March and you see Vader and his fleet, the TIE fighters are just far too loud on the special edition onwards. And if you watch the original version, the music's way louder. You can hear it all the time. They've gone back. They've met them halfway, I guess, on this new Disney version. It's pretty good. But again, picture quality suffered a little bit, and some things look a little bit washed out. Return of the Jedi is the biggest sufferer of being washed out. The HDR upgrade has made things darker and brighter, but sometimes the overall image, like when Vader arrives, when the Emperor arrives on the Death Star, the white stormtroopers and things, it looks a little bit like your TV's a bit too high on the contrast. It's a little bit too harsh, and it's not easy on the eyes. But again, is it the best presentation that we've ever seen of Return of the Jedi outside the theaters? Yes, definitely.
Okay.
The Force Awakens was always good looking, and it's a new film, so the print's still in good nick. So The Force Awakens is incredible. It's it's what you'd expect it to be. It's just really good 4K. The Last Jedi, surprisingly, isn't that great for 4K. It's better than any of the episodes 1 to 6 in quality. In visual, in
visual quality,
Addendum, everybody. Yeah.
The one thing I would say is good about Last Jedi is they've left a lot of the film grain in, and they've tried not to remove it, but that makes it. There's just something a little bit weird about the visual presentation of some scenes, but it is a good 4K Blu-ray. I'm being nitpicky, but The Rise of Skywalker is the best 4K Star Wars I've seen. Obviously, the film aside, is the best looking Star Wars in 4K. there's not much to talk about there. Solo is better visually in 4K because it makes it brighter, whereas when I went to see it at the cinema, it's very dark. The cinema is not too much of an issue because there's no ambient lighting, but when you get it home, you're like, oh god, this is so badly lit. Like, what's going on? It's obviously an aesthetic choice, something in post-production, but the 4K version really helps that. I'll move on from that because I don't want Paddy throwing up. So I would say my favorite to the last, Rogue One looks amazing. Rogue One is.
I did watch that the other day on Disney Plus, yeah, and I was very impressed with that.
What did you think? It looks great.
It looks great. The HDR, everything. I'm just a fan of HDR. It's superb. Yeah.
When you see the Star Destroyer at the beginning coming out of the shadow of the Death Star, like the lights and things in 4K, it's just
Star Wars porn moment. That really is.
Yeah, it is. It is.
That's his like. Oh!
Well, Paddy very nicely took me to a press screening of Rogue One because he won tickets. So he was sat next to me, and we saw it 2 days before everybody else. And that's the bit where I actually let out a noise, didn't I? I went, oh, I think I said, oh my fucking God.
Like, oh.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say, oh my fucking God. But it came out like this. Oh. And we were seeing it in IMAX.
It wasn't the same noise I made when that guy from the Empire said that Han Solo was called Han Solo because he was on his own.
Oh god!
That was a groan, a death groan, was it, Paddy?
I don't think I stood up, did I, Andy? But I definitely said, "Fuck off."
No, it wasn't like that. It was more like this. Fuck off.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, coming back to the 3D,
I can't watch that scene without hearing you say it in my head. I watched Solo last week, and I was like, I keep saying this every time I watch Solo. I'm like, I actually really like this film, and I feel like there's something wrong with me because of how much you hate it. But that bit, on Solo, I is a bit silly.
Yeah.
Way off. Yeah.
But anyway, you won't even have it in the house, will you, Paddy?
No, it's not even in the house. I haven't.
When I bring my laptop, it's got Solo on it. When I go to Paddy's house, I have to leave it in the car. That's his rules. He's like, have you deleted Solo? And I'm like, no. It's not coming in then.
There's literally nothing in this house with it on. There isn't.
There's no evidence of it.
No evidence of that film existing. And I collect posters and everything for Star Wars. It's just been completely incised.
Yeah, you're the way with Solo that I am with The Last Jedi. Really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
for you, Paddy, it's the actor, isn't it, of Solo and all that sort of stuff.
It's everything.
And the character.
Everything.
Yeah, it's everything.
Everything.
Well, with me in The Last Jedi, it's Luke Skywalker. But anyway, we're not going to get into it now. But that's some of the reasons.
Lost Jedi again. Don't stop. hang on. Wait, if Matt's going to go there, we're going to have to go like this. Just
do it. Just do it.
Hang on a minute.
Do it.
Hang on. Where is it now? Hang on.
Do it.
I need to find it.
Do it.
Oh god damn! No, right. Keep talking because I'm going to have to find it. I don't think it's
okay.
I don't think it's actually been uploaded.
Well, I will say I'll throw in my 2 pence because when you two rant about these two films, I don't get. I'm usually not around because I'm not in every show, but I like those movies. I don't love them. I don't love them, but I like them.
You can appreciate them. I mean, there's certain things about The Last Jedi I can appreciate, and that's the way it looks. And
the end.
And certain shots and camera angles and cinematography and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Just before you continue, Matt, hang on a second. Here we go.
Now let me tell you.
Carry on. So no, well, going back to the thing, the 3D. I know we were talking about that. So I'm going to watch it, and that's going to be my Star Wars day treat because I've been trying to do work all day. To be fair, I've done some. I've got Rise of Skywalker on 3D now. So that means I've got Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker. But I also, relatively recently, just before lockdown, I picked up the Steelbook, which is quite rare now, apparently. I picked up the Steelbook of Rogue One in 3D. For like 15 quid, and you go on eBay now, it's like going for 60 and 70 quid, and it's mint.
Yeah, I've got the 3D version. Right? It's not the Steelbook, and it is good in 3D.
It's the only Steelbook I've got. I've never bothered.
Right.
I tried to stave off that for
Yeah, the Steelbooks look really expensive.
Yeah. And they're expensive to start with, but then they do grow in value. But it was just like, do I need to start buying one other collectible thing that is more expensive than the other, and then hanging on to it, and I'm not going to sell it. So I just tried to stay away from the Steelbook thing. I did it a little bit with DVDs, but I've just tried to stay clear of it.
So let's round up this this review.
Let's round up the review of hang on a second. Let's round up the review of the 4K versions.
You've got a very good. Go on, sorry.
I'm just loving how easy it is to do the stings on this new platform.
I was just going to say you must have a very good composer working for you.
He's an amazing composer. Nobody knows who he is.
No.
Very, very talented.
No. Computer does it all for you. Right, so the 4K releases.
It was the wrong way around, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can just do that.
Yeah, you can do that. That's easy. Paul McCartney.
So, 4K. Is 4K. Is it worth the upgrade?
200 quid?
Yes. Oh, is it worth 200 quid? No. No. I think if you have a 4K TV and you got Disney Plus 4K app, yeah, fine. If you really love Star Wars, like visual, like I do, like I have to have the best quality possible version, then yeah, get the 4K discs. They are much superior to what we've had before. Am I disappointed? Yes. It's like I'm disappointed and I'm happy at the same time. I'm happy it's happened and they've done it, but I was expecting a little bit better considering the other old 4K discs that I've seen. The best oldest film I've seen is Blade Runner. It's phenomenal. One of the best 4K transfers I've ever seen, and it's from 1980. When lockdown ends, Patrick, Paddy's coming up for a film night. Terminator 2 also looks very good.
That's 3D as well. They 3D'd that, didn't they, recently?
That's right, yeah. They don't release them together, though. I think you buy the 3D or you buy the 4K. It's one or the other.
I'm going to get the 3D for that at some point because I love that film.
Yeah, I watched it. Like I said, I watched it in 4K. Very impressed. All the new stuff is just obviously impressive. I watched the Joker recently from last year, and that's a beautiful film in 4K.
It is. All right.
There's not much point reviewing anything like that. Like the sequel trilogy, the quite new films, they're gonna look good on 4K.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think it's worth it. Just to round that up.
Oh. Cool. Yeah. All good. Are we going to get onto the Clone Wars at some point?
Yes, let's do it now.
Let's do the Clone Wars. So is this is technically a review then, isn't it?
It's over.
Is it a spoiler-free review?
Spoiler-free. Yeah, we're not going to spoil anything.
Right. Okay. Hang on. I just need to do this, and then I need to do this. Yeah. Okay, so you're discussing the Clone of the Wars.
The Clone.
Final season.
The final season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go.
Go.
What did you think, Andy?
to the one today or the full series?
should we talk about the full season? Can I just say that
was it season
the last 4
7,
episodes of this season? Pardon? Season 7. Yeah.
Season 7, wasn't it?
Yeah. I could have skipped the majority of the first episodes, if I'm honest, and just gone for the last 4.
Yeah.
Because, whatever. The first part of the season,
I was a bit disappointed.
Too great. Yeah. But the last 4 episodes, fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. It was some of the best hours I've seen in years.
I'd say it's peak. It's definitely peak Clone Wars. They've left the best till the end. The beginning of season 7 is very slow and quite kind of reminding me of some of the stuff I'll never watch again from season 1. But maybe even more boring than that. I don't know if it was a purposeful decision to be like that. I'm not sure. But I can't really talk about it. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But like Matt said, the last 4 episodes, my jaw was dropped through some of it. I couldn't believe what they did. And because I won't say too much, but it ties right into Revenge of the Sith, which I didn't expect. It's what I always hoped the Clone Wars would do, bridge that gap, and it finally has.
You can even do like a supercut of Revenge of the Sith and the last 4 episodes. That'd be awesome.
Something else that we've not actually talked about as well is the old Clone Wars that came out in 2004 or 5. That can still happen in canon with the Clone Wars new TV show. I don't even notice that.
All right. Is that the animation? What was out?
Yeah. So the very final part of that, the Battle on Coruscant, that can still happen in the canon of the new one. Paddy.
All right.
You carry on for a minute. I'm going to get some ice for my drink, okay?
Okay.
I'll be back. Carry on discussing it, by the way.
Someone just said cheers for the no spoilers.
Right, okay.
Because some people have. That's what I mean. Some people haven't quite got around to seeing it yet. I literally can't wait.
No, exactly. God, I hate to spoil it for somebody because it's those last 4 episodes. Watch them, pay attention. You're going to be glued to the screen. And if you've got a 4K TV in HDR, again, it'll blow you away.
They've made aesthetically the visuals. They've made the show look better than it ever has, and I kind of want them to go back and do it all again, just because of how good this finale of season 7 does look. Dave Filoni talked about that. He said this is the biggest gap we've ever had in Clone Wars, so the technology's got better, and it's not so much that they didn't have the technology then. I suppose it's a cost that will take longer, so it'll cost more, so we can't do that. Because, you can see theatrical films and they look amazing, but you've got to be able, Lucas said, we can't do a live action TV show of Star Wars because it's too expensive, because it's got to look like Star Wars. Enter The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So we can't really talk about Clone Wars anymore without spoiling it.
Without spoiling it. We can talk about the characters that are in it. Obviously, you've got the main sort of like Captain Rex is there, and Ahsoka's there, and Darth Maul is there.
I couldn't believe how close he was to integral he was to the story.
I
wasn't expecting that at all.
He is very much part of the story, Darth Maul, and Ray Park played it, in mocap.
That's right. Yeah.
So when you're seeing Maul fighting, it's Ray Park.
Yeah. What I did enjoy, I thought Sam Witwer's performance as the voice of Maul got much better on this one as well. Maybe they give him more time. I don't know what it was, but it was a very good performance. Again, I won't spoil it, but my favorite line is when he says something like, "I expected Kenobi. Why are you here?" Yeah. I was like, like fangirl. Wafting the tears back in. I was as impressed with the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars as I would be with any Star Wars film. I thought it was that good. Seriously.
Yeah, and it's that kind of Star Wars where it's got repeat viewing ability. You know, you can watch those last 4 episodes over and over again because you love Star Wars. You know,
absolutely.
It's definitely up there with the best of the movies. You know,
I think the first of the last 4. Whatever episode that is, that should be episode 8. I think episode 8 of Clone Wars. I watched that about maybe 4 times.
Yeah.
The first day Disney put it up, I loved it. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, Ahsoka is such an awesome character.
You know, she's gone from the most debatably the most irritating character. She wasn't to me, but most fans did. I liked her from. I'm not being that guy that goes, "Oh, no, to all the time," but she just didn't bother me. I was like, "Yeah, okay, give her a chance." Yeah. But she's one of my favorite characters now, and I think the fan base
same here.
Love her as well. And they've spoilers. Well, it's not a spoiler. Apparently, she's in Mandalorian season 2.
Yes. Yeah. Who's the actress that's playing her? It's kind of been announced already, hasn't it?
That's been controversial, hasn't it? It's the girl who's in. Is she in Ragnarok? Did she get introduced in Ragnarok? Mixed race girl, black girl.
I'm not sure. Is anybody in chat can possibly tell us who it is? I don't know.
Yeah, she was introduced. Jacob's literally on the edge of his seat. I'm not sure why. Do you want to give us a reference to what that means? If it's
maybe he's getting up to go to the kitchen.
If it's because you're enjoying this, then crack on. Yeah, maybe it was when I got up to go to the kitchen. No, but it was
sarcasm.
It was controversial because she was in. I'm pretty sure she was introduced in Ragnarok, but she's also in. She was in that new terrible Men in Black film that they made.
No, it's not her. I know what you're talking about. It's not her.
I thought she'd been cast because it was controversial because she'd come out saying like she didn't want to work with a lot of white guys. It was all that.
Yeah, no, that's a different actress.
Right. Hang on. B. Ryan Young is saying it's Rosario Dawson.
That's the one. Yeah, Rosario Dawson. Now, I think the controversy. Yeah. There's a bit of controversy around the actress, and that's stems from. God, what is it?
Is it some trans related thing or something?
Yeah.
I feel like it might be. I don't know. I can't remember now. But even I mean, I don't know if it was to do.
A lot of people are saying she's transphobic, which is it's not true. It's not true.
No, because the
internet.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see that she would be, and you know, she played a gay character in not that I'm saying that everybody who's trans is gay necessarily, but she plays a gay character in Jay and Silent Bob Reboot.
Oh, okay.
You know, so it's not like she's closed off to, you know, sexuality and those kind of things.
I think it's not particularly her who they have an issue with. It's a family member or something.
Oh, right. Okay.
But even then, it's still I don't know. But anyway, I think that aside, I think it's a good choice for actress for Ahsoka.
Absolutely. I saw the picture that they posted with the article, and I was like, I could definitely see that with the makeup. Because the thing is, on the Clone Wars, there's not that many features that you can have on an animated face. So putting someone in a live action setting is actually quite easy. As long as they still have the actor who plays does the voice, as long as she voices Ahsoka, that would be the best.
And I was looking, I didn't realize how involved it was in terms of them creating stuff like digitally now. There was a clip that got put up of, was it Maul versus Ahsoka?
Whoa, spoilers.
It's Ray Park. It's Ray Park doing it. And
that's right. Yeah, it's Ray.
Like, wow, I didn't know. I had no idea.
I did think when I was watching. when I was watching the actual show, I had no idea that they'd motion captured Ray Park. But I was watching some of the lightsaber movies, and I swear I thought they've really been watching Phantom Menace here and looking at Maul's aesthetic.
Yeah.
And then when I saw
I clicked. I must admit, I clicked. They must have mocapped Ray Park with his fighting style.
Yeah.
He leaps up. And he fires his staff, lightsaber staff towards.
Yep.
The other one. and he kicks as well. There's a bit of a kick in the air, and that's Ray Park.
It's the stance and everything. It's just they've aesthetically got Maul down to a T. He looked great.
Yeah.
Great performance all around from Sam Witwer.
I think I'll probably go and watch the 4 episodes again tonight after this.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely fantastic.
Tries another go.
You've got to catch up on the Clone Wars, hey, Pads?
Big time. I've got to catch up on that. Are they all on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'll start dipping into it at some point. I've got so many things I want to dive into.
Aye. After you've done your Marvel stint, start with the Clone Wars.
I've done my Marvel stint, but I've kind of punctuated it with classics as well. Because I picked over the past few months, I'd picked up things from Arrow Video, so I've been watching classics. I was watching 12 Monkeys and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like my own movies, but that all the Arrow Video stuff. I mean, it's a shame that they don't get handed a big IP like Star Wars or whatever, because the way their 4K mastering stuff is just fantastic. And they 4K master them even if they're putting them onto Blu-ray, and you just wow, that looks awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love their stuff. So I'll be kind of fluctuating between all that stuff, and then the usual things that me and the missus watch, daft things like Most Haunted and stuff like that. It's a pleasure.
Do you know? I
think.
Do you know what's really scary? You said Most Haunted, and this light flickered twice, and it's never ever flickered. So, and I don't believe in that stuff. So, can you just shut up?
That was the ghost of Derek.
Of who?
Yeah.
Derek Acorah.
Derek.
Yeah.
Is he no longer with us, Derek Acorah?
No, he's passed it to the other side.
His residual energy has moved out.
Well, I've got Sam here with me now.
Yeah.
What's up, Sam?
And he says, he's asking, is there a John in the audience?
Yeah. Somebody in the audience with a heart condition.
I'm going to shut up, because I don't believe in any of this, but it's still, if I'm wrong, which I could be, don't like it.
I just love watching him. I
must admit, Paddy, I do like watching Most Haunted, but I'm like you, Andy. I don't believe it, but I watch it just for pure entertainment value.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I've never seen any evidence, but people I do know have seen things.
Yeah. Same.
I mostly watch it for the once he got kicked out of the show, for me it was over. I mean, I know this has got nothing to do with Star Wars.
Yeah, we've gone Marvel, Derek Acorah.
We have.
What are our other news points?
Can I just pull it back to the Clone Wars again and talk about the score?
Go on, talk about the score.
Yes, do it. That should be something I'd bring up, but go on, Matt.
Yeah. Because watching the episodes, and I brought it up to you earlier, Andy.
That's right, yeah.
It reminded me of Blade Runner, the Blade Runner score. That sort of, you probably know the instruments more than me, but that sort of, I don't know.
Great.
Yeah, go on, Andy. What's the instruments they're using? That sort of haunting.
Well, it's just synths. It's
They're
using synthesis. Vangelis was the composer of Blade Runner. One of Paddy's favorites. Definitely really out there. When that came out in the 80s, considering most of the big budget science fiction movies were orchestral scores, and Vangelis did this whole synthetic kind of score. And for some reason on the Clone Wars, they've used they've old school analog synths. There might be digital emulations of analog synths, but it had a very natural kind of sound to it, like the Blade Runner soundtrack does.
The score was fun. I agree, Brian. I agree that it was phenomenal. It's not Star Wars, but it definitely fitted the episodes well, I think, for what was going on.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it doesn't work. I was just a little bit surprised how stark and loud those sounds were, considering they have a live orchestra on one or two of the episodes as well. On the last four, you can really hear it on the first two episodes, but they just went more synthetic, and I don't know if that was because of budget or feel, but it definitely had a different feel. I wouldn't say it's as good as the score for The Mandalorian, which really pushes the boundaries, but I think that actually works now. At first, I rejected it, I'll be honest. I didn't think it was the greatest thing I've ever heard.
Pure spaghetti Western vibes, isn't it?
It is, but there's some synths in there, and they sound a little bit trancy in place, and I was like, does this really work? I won't spoil The Mandalorian, but there's parts of The Mandalorian where you're like, right, here it is. Here's the the musical money shot, the Force theme, and it doesn't do it. It restrains from doing it. I don't know if that's to keep it away from Star Wars or it costs more having that music in there. I don't know. But Ludwig Göransson does a very good job of riding that line of making it feel like Star Wars and just dipping into a new kind of sound palette. Whereas the Clone Wars did it very suddenly, very quickly, and I think they overdid it and used too much of it. I think it should have been left for maybe those final scenes. You know, any composer or music score fan will have these kinds of opinions. It doesn't denigrate the story. I still loved it. I thought it was fantastic, but I did find my third ear was a little bit like, I don't think that works as well. And for me, if something's like for your, for example of what you said, Matt,
I reckon your third ear is here, like a third eye.
Okay, mine's at the front. It's not at the back.
No, I think it's at the front.
Because Matt started thinking of Blade Runner. Does that mean it's a good score? No. A score shouldn't have you thinking about other things and distracting you, however subtle that is. So that's why I don't like it. I don't think it's bad music. I don't think it's not working for the show too much. I thought it was distracting, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And when film,
I mean, I liked it for the particular scenes it was in, and especially that final scene.
Yeah.
That you had a spoiler for. It was spoiled for you a wee bit, wasn't it, online? Yeah. But I think that was
them final shots were absolutely heart-wrenching for me, and I didn't think they would be. They ended the show beautifully.
Yeah, and absolutely. I mean, that is the last episode, isn't it? There's no more episodes.
Yeah.
Because somebody did say online earlier there are more coming up, but
no, there isn't.
I think there are. I think they are talking about. They'll probably do another animated series. I don't think they'll carry on with the Clone Wars per se, will they? Because it's over. The Clone Wars are over.
Yeah, because
the Empire has risen.
They've answered all the things that I don't want to spoil it, but they've answered everything that bridges it to Rebels now. So that's why I thought, this really is the end. It's over. It's a shame that Clone Wars had to end because I've liked it for years. I must admit I didn't like the movie when it came out. I didn't even see it.
No. I did play that movie today for my daughter because.
You said.
Well, yeah, she was glued. She was glued to
Fair enough.
I think it is more aimed at that age group. She's 6 years old, so.
I didn't think it was bad. I just didn't think it was theatrical level. I didn't think it was movie good. I just thought it was a good episode of the Clone Wars. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's all right. Let's move on. But it was called the Clone Wars movie. It was meant to be gripping, and it just wasn't. It was just like another episode of the Clone Wars.
An extended episode, yeah.
One that wasn't that great, anyway.
No, yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah. I feel the same.
What's our next talking point, Mr. O'Hare?
I don't know. I think we're probably out. To be honest,
I think
we're probably out of the show. It's like we're like 1 hour 30 minutes now.
It is made free.
Okay.
And we've got
it is made, yeah, Star Wars Day.
I'm
happy to carry on if you want to.
Well, because it's Star Wars Day, we do have a quiz for you.
We have got a quiz. I'm being pestered to like get out of here, but we can do the quiz. Yeah. I think it's been a long day for somebody, but
right.
Perhaps I mean I don't know. It's up to you. Do you want to do the quiz or do you want to do it next week? Manu, it depends if Andy's
we can do it next week if you like.
I know this is not a discussion that we want to have on air
next week,
but at the moment we probably have to have it on air
next week.
Next week, you sure?
Yep.
Yeah. All good.
Okay. All right. Okay, no problem.
We'll still be in lockdown, won't we?
Well, yeah, this is it exactly. So we may as well keep some things in our arsenal. Yeah,
our calendar is free.
Our calendar is totally free. I also hope Andy doesn't hurt me when we do come out of the show and I play the thanks for watching. I'm really not sure now whether it's the new thank for watching or the old one. You can see how upset he is already.
I'm checking the file name.
Go on, tell me what the file name is. And you'll be able to tell me whether you Facebooked it me or WhatsApped it me or I don't know at this point.
It's called Thanks for Watching and Subscribe.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know where it is. I have no idea. It's not in the folder for some reason.
Thanks for watching. Brackets red is the old one.
Yeah, that's it. I've got the old one.
Well, that's rubbish. that was a waste of my time, wasn't it?
If you're sending me now, we can just do it. I'll do it after. I'll do it then.
Okay.
Welcome to the show.
Should we just discuss quickly the video game, the Battlefront 3?
Yes,
Battlefront 3.
That's a good idea.
Oh, Battlefront 2.
Battlefront 2.
I was going to say, I got excited then.
Yeah.
Right,
I was reading here that there's.
Let's
so I've got some print offs.
Battlefront 2.
There are no plans for a Battlefront 3.
I've heard that that's the case, and I'm very upset because Battlefront 2 is my favorite game. I think it's amazing. I thought it was really good when it came out. I understand why people didn't really like it, but it's one of the greatest turnarounds ever. I mean, it's
so the old loot box controversy.
Can I just ask you this? So, if we're talking about Battlefront 2, is this like a news thing or is this technically a review?
It's a news thing. It's because it's ended.
It's because it's ended. So it's technically a review, is it?
It's just gone into the maintenance.
Oh, it's news. News. Oh, did they announce? It's news. They announced it as news, did they?
Yeah.
Recently that it's going to end. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Continue.
News.
Battlefront 2 news.
Yeah.
So so EA have officially stated that they're no longer gonna make DLCs and whatnot for Battlefront 2. They're moving into the maintenance stage. So obviously you'll still be able to play it online, but don't expect anything new to be added to the game. They had an update recently.
The Windows 7, that shit.
Yeah. So they've had an update recently, and they've added a couple of new things. One of which was Scarif.
That's right.
The Assault on Scarif.
They've Paddy, I've sent it you. Okay. Yeah, so they put Scarif in, and you can play Supremacy on Scarif now. I don't know if you can play any of the game modes on it. I think the offline modes, they've put all the other maps in there, so you can play against the AI. You don't have to play against people online. It's one of what I would say
if
about.
You're like me, that's great because then I don't get my ass kicked.
Well, this is the thing that a lot of my a lot of people I speak to online and some of my mates, you know, say they like the game, but what's so frustrating about it is how difficult it is online. That there are freaks on there, but I'm not great at games, but because Battlefront 2 is the only game I play, I'm all right.
You got good at it.
I'm usually halfway down the leaderboard, but I'm usually in the top 3 or 4 now.
That's good. Yeah.
If I stop playing it for like a few weeks or something, I have a break from it, I go back to it and I'm near the bottom.
Bottom of the board.
Yeah. You see, I don't think I'm that good, but I keep seeing myself near the top and I'm like, oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah. For some reason, I'm better at the flying aspects of it than the running around shooting it, which is weird.
Well, the flying, what's it called? Starfighter Assault and Hero Starfighters.
Yeah.
You can't find a game for that. No one plays it.
No,
online. No, it didn't do very well. It did when it came out.
I was on it the other day and I found I was in the games, but I do wait a while for it to find a server or what have you. But
well, the new game mode they've put. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say here it says, rest assured, EA are definitely working on more Star Wars games, and EA Motive are still working on a Project Maverick, which is right on my alley. They reported to be working on a flight-focused Star Wars action game.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Ever since Rogue Squadron on the N64 in the 90s, I've been waiting for some kind of X-Wing Millennium Falcon kind of game, and it's never really happened. Maybe this is the one.
Maybe this is the one, and maybe with the new consoles and stuff coming out, you'll find because I do believe Xbox is going the virtual reality route, not with their own VR headset per se, but with a third party one.
Interesting.
Right. So if you can sit down, if you can, put a virtual headset on and sit in an X-Wing.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. That would be awesome.
Even I'd be down with that.
Yeah.
Because Paddy's played Battlefront 2 once and he was terrible, I believe.
It was absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Well, they've added so many extra buttons to controllers now. I'm too old for that shit.
You're running around looking at the sky and then looking at the ground.
Yeah. It was like I was expecting, GoldenEye, and I got handed a massive shit sandwich. Even though, like, you could be Bespin Han Solo, like he showed me, you can be Bespin Han Solo, you can be Hoth Leia, like my favorite, all my favorite outfits and incarnations.
Hey, I don't even know this about Han Solo in Battlefront 2. The story mode of Battlefront 2, Han Solo has a beard.
Yeah, he does.
Awesome.
He's on Takodana. He's visiting Maz's castle.
That's right. Yeah, he's got a full-on beard.
Should we finish with a beard bomb, a Ford beard bombshell?
Go on.
Well, he appeared with a beard in his new film, didn't he?
Yeah,
and he had a beard briefly in The Fugitive. But I think he's been trying to bring the beard back for a long time. Blade Runner 2049. You look at the concept sketch.
Yeah.
How Deckard was supposed to appear was with that dog, with a hooded coat, long, straggly hair, and a big long beard. And right before he was about to shoot the movie, he was making that John Williams award ceremony. Remember, Andy?
Yep.
He came out and said that goddamn music follows me everywhere.
Yep.
It was playing in the theater when I got my colonoscopy.
But John, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, he had a big beard then. I think Deckard was supposed to have a beard. And then in the end, the studio went, oh, he's only in it for the third of the movie. We want to see his face if we're paying this much for him. So
controversial.
Wow.
But yeah, Han Solo with a beard would have been interesting.
Yeah.
But we got Luke. We got Luke with a beard instead.
We got his Disney beard instead with his pal the dog. when Han Solo was on mushrooms.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Anyway, I think 1 hour 40 minutes. We've probably given everybody a big enough slice, a thick slice of Thin Lizzy of Club Star Wars.
Yes.
So now we can do all this. I reckon we'll be back
Next week, same time.
So and how long do you reckon it'll take us to get through the quiz, Andy?
It's 20, 25-second examples of music.
20, 25. So
I'd say half an hour tops with the answers.
Okay. Yeah. So next week, guys, if you're up for it, we'll do the show and then we will do a separate stream of the quiz. That was what we're planning to do tonight. Which if we decide we want to do it later on, if we can get somebody in bed. And we decide we want to come on and do it later on, then we'll just do it later on. But if not, we'll do it next week.
I think we should do it next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
be a bit late, won't it? Later on.
Give people a lead up. Yeah. Cool. So Star Wars Day. May the Force be with you. What are you planning for the rest of the day? You're gonna watch something? You're gonna watch something Star Warsy? You're gonna do something Star Warsy apart from this?
I'm watching Mandalorian.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Again.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I might go and watch the last 4 episodes of the Clone Wars season 7. Actually, yeah.
Okay.
Again,
I'm going to watch Troz in 3D.
Nice.
And trying
have returned.
Trying not to cry at the Han Solo scene again.
Oh, hey kid. I remember you nearly jumped out your seat in the cinema because you weren't expecting that.
And I was like, oh
yeah.
I don't think anyone was. I think everybody gasped.
Yeah, it was.
I've only seen that movie once, and that's with you guys at the cinema.
Yeah,
but it's on Disney Plus now in full 4K HDR.
You're about
to check it out just for the visuals.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And Ian McDermott back.
The Mac.
Yeah.
The Mac returns.
He's not in it enough for me.
No. If they're going to bring him back, they should have done it proper, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
Particularly if it's the Palpatine saga. So. Hey!
Oh, exactly. Hey!
That's another story. That's another one of these.
Cue the rant.
Is it me or does that sound like a better saga? Because I love Palpatine.
Yeah.
So next week we'll set Matt off on the Palpatine rant.
How can you rant about Palpatine?
Let's talk about The Last Jedi again and get him really annoyed. Okay, guys. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Everybody. Has anybody else?
That's my Ryan Johnson.
It was a very good laugh. Anyone else? Anything more to say?
I love Star Wars.
No, I love Star Wars too.
I do. I love Star Wars.
I do.
The most recent Star Wars have been some of the best, actually.
Mandalorian and Clone Wars.
Yeah. We're not talking about the movies here.
Rogue One's still my favorite Star Wars movie since the Disney takeover. I've decided.
Yeah, same here.
It was. It's Force Awakens is so close to that, but because it's a Han Solo movie, that's Solo. The Force Awakens is Solo.
It is a Han Solo movie.
But Rogue One is just that teensy bit better. I really enjoyed Rogue One.
It's The Force Awakens and Rogue One there.
Rogue One.
For me.
Yeah.
Force Awakens is first just because it's Ford's movie.
Yeah.
It's
Rogue One. Force Awakens.
And the camera's not big enough for the rest of it. Your body physically can't go that low.
No, he can't get his finger into the foundations of his house to do.
The Clone Wars, way up there.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that is interesting. The animation things don't do loads for me.
It didn't for me either, but the Clone Wars is just I don't sit there thinking this is animation, it's just
I don't either. You get sucked into the story. Yeah.
Rebels isn't as good.
Before we go, by the way, I know we keep saying we're saying goodbye, but we haven't.
Yeah.
Are you set up to do your voice thing?
No.
Oh right, okay.
Would you like me to? If you two keep talking.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
So you're putting Clone Wars what above Rogue One? Is that what you're saying, Matt?
Oh no, actually no. Take that back.
Are you putting it?
Yeah, no. If we're talking Disney movies, yeah, Rogue One and Force Awakens under that, so on and so forth. Last Jedi right at the bottom. Well, yeah.
Do you like Rise of Skywalker better? Do you like Rise of Skywalker better than Last Jedi?
Yes, yeah, I do, but only for the fact that
it's not the Last Jedi.
That I think JJ tried his best with it.
Yeah.
As far as following on from the Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I mean?
Yeah. Repair work.
A bit of repair work, a bit of fan service, I guess.
Mm.
I don't really agree that they should have brought Palpatine back, per se. I really wish Rian Johnson hadn't killed off Snoke.
I do as well.
Because I think they were leading up to the fact that Snoke was going to be Darth Plagueis.
Yeah.
Which would have been a much better storyline for me personally. Yeah.
Me too. And it meant they'd have.
I think originally George's idea was for Rey to be Luke Skywalker's daughter as well.
Yeah, when
the character was originally going to be called Kira. So,
which is what we should have had,
Yeah,
it would have been better than identifying as a Skywalker for sure.
Yeah,
I think. But there you go. Andy still looks like he's feverishly working on it. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah,
good.
So literally, I've just if you can get onto that voice, I was just going to say,
I hope this works.
Are there other things? There are other things that we need to discuss. And
is the voice thing working? Does it sound?
No,
do I sound strange?
No, not yet.
No,
it's not working then.
Okay, never mind.
Right.
God damn. Okay, I can hear it.
I've got an idea. So next week when we do the quiz, how would everyone be up for Andy introducing the quiz as
Palpatine?
No, not as Palpatine. Well, you do a good Palpatine.
Kylo Ren?
As Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren. Kylo Barraclough will be hosting the Star Wars quiz next week.
Can it be Yoda, Palpatine, and Ren?
Okay, I'll go for that.
Of course I can. Yeah, of course I can.
Yeah, I'm annoyed that this thing doesn't work. I think I've got rid of the software that does it. Just bear with me.
It is what it is.
So what about maybe special guests coming up in the future as well, Pads?
Oh yes, special guests. Yeah, well, now we're using this platform, it's like so much easier to introduce guests now. So as people may or may not know out there who are watching this, I know plenty of people who are involved in the sequels as well, but more so the bulk of who were involved in the original trilogy. So we'll certainly bring some of those on to discuss these things. I was just chatting to Thingy briefly on Facebook. I was chatting to Alan Austin, who was a stormtrooper in Empire Strikes Back. I was actually talking to Simon J. Williamson as well this afternoon. He is what's his name from Jabba's band? It's nice, not Nice Noodles. I can't remember his name.
The blue thing.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
The blue elephant looking like thing. Yeah.
Yeah. That's terrible that I can't remember that character's name right now.
Yeah, same.
No.
Can you remember?
I know who you mean.
What's the blue elephant who plays the piano in Jabba's bar called?
Size Noodles?
No, that's
Nice Noodle. That's the one with the long lippy. Yeah.
Anyway, that's him. That's him.
Yeah.
Have you got it, Andy?
Cool.
I think he's gone quiet now. No, he's gone completely off now.
Yeah.
I think we'll have to do it next week, Andy. We're coming up on 1 hour 50 minutes now for this show. People are sleeping in corners.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Draw.
I can hear you now. Yeah, you're back.
Can you
Do
hear
I
me now?
sound different?
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
My name's Matt. I'm a radar technician. I'm joined here by Matt and Patty. You know what I've come for. The map to Skywalker. We know you found it. And now you're going to give it to the First Order.
Can you just
Welcome to Club Star Wars.
Can you just say my favorite line?
Anything else?
What girl?
That is my favorite line.
No one is more impressive than Palpatine. Kylo Ren is a punk bitch in comparison.
Scavenger. Very good.
Is it true you're just a scavenger? From Jakku? What girl? And all that.
The junkyard.
Kylo Ren is no more powerful than me,
Anyway, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
That's enough of that, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's probably time to end the show, don't you?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, we've been
On that
talking for 1 hour and 50 minutes.
I've got to go stand miserable in front of a camera and call it Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
Which is probably not as long as Anthony Daniels has been on streams this afternoon. He's been everywhere today. Anyway,
It's not like he has anything else to do, is it?
we're pretty sure you're not watching. But
If I could kill a droid, he'd be on the first of the list.
absolutely. Right, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
everyone.
Great Star Wars Day, and you know, enjoy.
May the Fourth be with you,
Stay safe.
May
always.
the Fourth be with you.
Till next year. And I imagine we'll probably
You never expect Kylo Ren to say that.
back to our usual day of Wednesday, I reckon. Okay. Nice one.
All right, sounds good to me.
Bye,
you all.
everybody.
Bye. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Matt. Cheers. Bye-bye.
See you later.
See
Bye.
you later. See ya.